This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Can't you just smell that fresh cut, clean grass and those burgers and dogs grilling away in those ballparks? That's right. MLB opening day is just a few days away, and we are here to preview it all here on the Voice of the Land. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, my brother, Nick Paulus, and our producer extraordinaire behind that proverbial glass, Peter Tillip. We are a Big Play production here on the Big Play Network and partnered with Web Streaming Studio by LPV Productions. We are here, like I said, to preview MLB opening day, and we are going to be joined in just a few moments by Senior Vice President of Public Affairs with the Cleveland Indians, Bob DiBiasio, to let all of you fans know what you can expect in that ballpark experience this year as fans are about to enter those gates. Once again, not full ballparks just yet, but we are getting so much closer to having that full sports experience, and there's nothing better than sitting back and enjoying a nice hot dog.
100%.
Maybe a nice little adult beverage or, lemonade.
Crack open that beer.
Hanging out with some friends and watching some baseball. There is nothing better than that, right?
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing better. And it's the national pastime.
It is.
It's as much crap as we give, Rob Manfred and everything like that. They still put on a decent product, for everyone to enjoy. And I'm talking about MLB as a whole. There's some markets that, really don't, pay attention to their team as much. But we are here in Cleveland. We're diehard for the Indians, especially if they're winners. We are hell-bent. We're all in on them. This year might be a little down, but who knows? We've been surprised before.
We have. Washington Nationals, when they got rid of when Bryce Harper left and went to the Phillies.
Their cornerstone leaves and they win the World Series. Maybe our cornerstone left, Frankie. Maybe we win the World Series.
You got to put those good vibes out there
Absolutely.
any way you can. We're always going to be Cleveland Indians fans, and whatever they change the name to, of course, moving forward.
Right.
We're going to be Cleveland baseball fans. Let's just say it that way. We're going to be Cleveland baseball fans no matter what. Peter, I know you've been missing that ballpark experience, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean it just feels weird. I mean, with last year being the way it was.
Oh yeah.
Everything's a little weird. It is nice to, get in the car, turn on the radio, hear the spring training games. Jacob and I were listening to that on the way down.
Yeah.
And looking forward to the season to start. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get into the game. I don't know.
Tom Hamilton calls is much needed right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Basketball's been giving us a lot with the tournament going on, but in the city, not a lot of good basketball on the professional ranks.
Right.
We kind of know what...
Fade for Cade is the hashtag going around.
I mean, Cade balled out, in that tournament.
He's a baller.
He is. I mean, he's got that clutch gene. I'll
no
just
doubt.
say that.
No doubt.
That's the kind of guy that you're looking for. Whoever ends up getting the top pick, you're getting a stud in Cade Cunningham. Now, before Bob DiBiasio does join us here, and he's going to be jumping on here in just a few moments, want to remind you, go ahead and follow us on social media at VTL_pod. You can always catch the show live right there every single week, every Sunday at 7 p.m., just like this Sunday evening. And you can also like us on Facebook at Voice of the Land. Find Big Play on Facebook, like their page, and you'll get notifications when they go live because we'll stream right there or stream through our Facebook page. Their YouTube page will stream the show as well at Big Play Live. And, of course, our YouTube channel at Voice of the Land Podcast. You can follow Paulus as you see below with our names every single week with the spelling, because to go through the spelling every single time can be difficult. So
we don't need to do that.
No, we appreciate.
We're good there.
We appreciate all the production that Peter does for
Absolutely.
us on this show.
Thank you.
But at Sealy_Paulus, at Kevin and 7, because I got that clutch gene too, just like Cade Cunningham, come through when it matters most. And of course, you can always catch us on the Sportscaster app, or you just want to tune in the audio. Major podcast platforms. Hit subscribe, give us a maybe a review on Apple Podcasts. We haven't talked about that in a while, but give us those 5 stars. Give us a review, what you like, what you want to hear more of. What do you want from the Voice of the Land? And we are here to service you to an extent. It is our show, so we're going to do the content we want to do, but We want the content to bring a lot of you in, bring you guys in the conversation. So reach out to us during the week, and whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk back. Don't worry. We will talk back, and we will definitely listen to some of your ideas as well. And, of course, head on over to voiceofland.com to get all your Voice of Land gear. We want to thank our sponsor before Mr. DiBiasio joins us here, DP Construction LLC, fellow Indians fans, Cleveland baseball fans over there as well, Tyler LaFrada, Uncle Steve. They will meet all of your concrete construction needs. Reach out to them for a quote at 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. Or hit them up on Facebook at DP Construction LLC. Send them a message through there, and they'll reach back out to you there. And Tyler is so confident in the work that they will do for you and the beautiful work. You can see those pictures on Facebook as well. He is so confident that he gives out his own email address. You can reach directly out to him, ask any questions you may have. And as we get into these spring months, summer months, and you got that concrete project you need done around the house, they will get it done for you. Reach out to him, tylerlafrada@gmail.com. That is tylerlafrada@gmail.com, as you can see that up on the screen right now. And now, as we promised, we want to welcome Senior Vice President of Public Affairs. You may have heard of him as Bobby D, but Bob DiBiasio. Thank you so much for a few moments of your time this evening to talk Cleveland Indians baseball. Bob, how's it going this evening?
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Kevin, for having me. Let's talk some Tribe.
Now, Bob, just for our audience, describe the atmosphere inside the ballpark last year with no fans and those cardboard cutouts, not having that kind of energy in the stadium. And this year, with some fans being allowed in the ballpark, what can they expect based on the COVID protocols set in place and what the Indians are doing to keep everyone safe in Progressive Field this year?
I think the players, first and foremost, are going to be happy that there are actual people in the stands and not cardboard cutouts. As good as our live entertainment crew is, it was difficult to try to create an atmosphere that mirrored what the intensity is like and fun is like when there's actually fans in the stands with just the music and videos and cardboard cutouts. So, but we did the best we could, being as flexible as we could to present the game and provide the players the atmosphere so they could get a little bit of a bounce in their step as they played. But we are looking so forward to being able to have 30% capacity starting on opening day. And as the 6-month season rolls along, we certainly hope that that percentage number will go up and up and up. Governor DeWine did indicate possibly by the 1st of July, we might be at 100% capacity in the ballpark. So can't wait for that. The COVID protocols, mask wearing, social distancing, was at the ballpark just the other day myself, zip tying seats that were go unused at the beginning here in the month of April, as we have to adhere to the governmental protocols that are put in place and Major League Baseball's protocols. But can't wait to have fans in the stands as we get rolling for opening day on April 5. And as I said, as we move throughout the 6-month calendar, that number should go up and up and up. And who knows, by the time we are playing on July 4th, we have a home game against on a Sunday afternoon, July 4th, against the Houston Astros. Maybe we'll get to 100% capacity.
We are joined right now by Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Bob DiBiasio. And Bob, I just want to follow up on those protocols and kind of the way that things went last year. Since there's not as many fans, or you can't fill up the ballpark every single game, is there still going to be an opportunity for fans that may not be able to get a part of that 30% allotment of tickets to still have a cardboard cutout in certain parts of the ballpark this year? Is that in the works from you guys on the promotional side of things?
I don't believe we have plans for cutouts for the 2021 baseball season. again, with the opportunity to have the real fans back in the ballpark, I'm not so sure we're quite ready to go back to cardboard cutouts. But it was a great opportunity for people to engage and feel connected to Indians baseball, raise money for Cleveland Indians charities. This past year, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District was in um, real need of assistance when it came to the digital divide. Cleveland's one of the worst connected cities in America, unfortunately, and with remote learning for our young people in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, we needed to help raise some money so we could get hotspots and equipment to the youngsters so they could continue their e-learning. And that's where the cardboard cutouts came in. They helped us raise some good funds to assist that project. Not so sure we're going to do cardboard cutouts. That issue of the digital divide is still real. We have some fundraising opportunities coming up during this baseball season with our 50-50 raffles, et cetera, for Indians charities to continue to help the youngsters of our community.
So, Bob, you've been with the Indians organization for over 40 years. What has been your favorite memory in Indians history?
Well, I don't know if I have one, but if you're forcing me to do so, this picture behind me in 2001, um, that's when we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Cleveland Indians as a member of the American League. So in 2001, in July, we brought back as many that we could of the top 100 roster that was created for the 100th anniversary. And we had about 43 former players who came back for the celebration. It was a remarkable weekend with some of the greatest names in franchise history. And if I may expound a little bit, I'll tell you a quick story that Charlie Nagy was the starting pitcher on this day. And he was part, obviously, of the top 100 roster of the Cleveland Indians. He's in the Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame, won 129 games for the Tribe. It's in the top 10 in a number of pitching categories, consistent 15-game winner. But he's pitching that day. And so I went up to him. He was one of the rare guys that you could talk to on the day that he pitched. Most pitchers have blinders on and you don't talk to them on the day that they're pitching. But Charlie was a guy that you could talk to on the days that he pitched. So I went up to him and said, look, I am not going to have you miss the opportunity to be in this team photo of the top 100 roster guys. There's 40 some here. We put everybody behind second base in a pregame ceremony to take a team photo of all the guys. And we had ages from Mel Harder and Willis Hudlin, who played back, in the late 20s and 30s and all the way up. And so I told him, I said, look, when you're done in the bullpen, I'll have a bat boy. We had a riser with 4 rows. And I said, I'm going to have a little ladder. You're going to walk behind the team photo, take off your warm-up jacket for 2 seconds. I'll have a bat boy there to take it from you. And you step up on the ladder right in mid-center. We'll take the picture, then off you go. And as we're sitting there, some of the guys are like, hey, when are we taking this picture? As most players do when a team photo is being done, they're yapping. And I said, we're waiting for Charlie Nagy. He's starting today. I'm not going to have him miss out on this incredible opportunity to be a part of this team photo. And so he's just finished his warm-ups in the bullpen, and he's coming in. And all the pitchers are like, hey, that's awfully nice. And all the hitters are screaming, hey, we don't care about, the pitchers. What do we care about pitchers for? So we're just having so much fun as a packed house. There's 40-some thousand people watching us get ready on the field. And these guys are having so much fun with it. And so Charlie comes in, stands up. I said, all right, here he is. And so we take the picture. Now, Charlie gets off the riser. Now you have Bob Feller, Mel Harder, Herb Score, Sam McDowell, Louis Tion, Sonny Siebert, Gaylord Perry, you name it, the greatest pitchers in Indians history go up to Charlie. And they start hugging him, patting him on the back, saying, hey, we can't wait to see you pitch today, man. This is going to be really fun for us. Good luck today, kick some ass. And as we're all done, I'm walking Charlie back and I said, hey, thank you for doing this. I know it's not the easiest thing to do. And he just looks at me after all those Indians Hall of Famers came to say hello to him. He ends up looking at me and he goes, I hope I don't shit the bed today. And he went out, pitched a good game, but I just thought that was one of the greatest, he just, the way Charlie was, if you knew him, how humble he was. And he just had a little smile on his face, but it was just so cool to see how all the pitchers, no matter what generation they pitched in, came together for another pitcher that wore our Indians uniform. And they wanted to at least shake his hand and pat him on the back. And Charlie to this day says it's one of the greatest moments of his career to be that close to that many star pitchers in our history. And for me, I looked at that, team picture of about 43, and I can honestly say 39 of the 43 are incredibly close friends of mine. For a kid that grew up in Lakewood, Ohio, to be able to say that is something truly special.
Bob, you personally, how do you feel about the organization's decision to change the name brand Indians to something else?
Yeah, I don't know what I would rename it yet. I'm like a lot of people. I waver back and forth on different names that I hear going, oh, that would be cool. Or no, that one would be better. As you go through the process, do we name our ball club after a significant moment in our franchise history or a significant person in our franchise history? Do we name it after a significant moment in our city's history or a significant person in our cities and regions history? Do we do something geographically since we sit on the North Coast and right on the water with Lake Erie? Is it some kind of nautical thing? I mean, all these things run through your head as you're looking. So I really don't have a leader in the clubhouse at this stage for that. As far as changing the name, I am all for it. As a kid who grew up in, as I said, in Lakewood, Ohio, grew up with Chief Wahoo and Cleveland Indians. Never once did I ever think anything but baseball when I thought of those two things, the image of Chief Wahoo or the name Indians. I never in my life did I ever believe that there was any intent. And for many of you, I think you agree that never, ever was there ever any intent to demean a group of people. But as we looked and saw over the last year, our world has changed. And it made us have to really take a step back and think about who we are. Philosophically, who are we in the community? And who are we as a franchise? And what do we represent? And how do we become more involved in the unification of our community when it comes to issues of diversity and equity and inclusion? Where do we play a role? And how can we play a more impactful role? Where can we be better? Where can we do better as a franchise that plays a significant role in uniting our community? And so we felt the first and foremost thing, and I thought it was a terrific process that we were involved in, that we just sat back and listened and learned, kept our ears open, and listened to community leaders, and we listened to our players, and we listened to our fans, and we listened to our corporate partners, and we had extensive conversations with the Native American community and Native American institutions as to where should we go moving forward. And we realized that while no one had any intent to demean a group of people, it was the impact that mattered more than the intent. And the impact was incredibly negative to the Native American community. And as we heard from community leaders, and so if we truly want to play a role in being a part of uniting our community, we felt first and foremost, we needed to make the step of changing our team name. And I'm very proud of our organization. I think it's very bold move by our ownership to do so, as there's a lot of people who are wondering why and not sure of the reasons. I hope I just gave people a complete understanding as to the process by which we walked through to listen and learn. And then once we heard overwhelmingly that its impact is obviously more important than intent, that it was important for us to take this first step and change the name. So I'm all in favor of it. I'm proud of our organization for doing it.
Now, Bob, to switch to some on-field questions surrounding the team, we know that there's question marks surrounding any baseball team heading into every single season, and that's true in all professional sports. And the Indians have been no exception over the last few seasons, this year especially. However, they have been able to play over 500 baseball under Terry Francona, all 8 seasons that Terry Francona has been at the helm. From your perspective, working with the guy behind the scenes, not the manager that you see on TV, but the man behind the scenes and the work that's put in that we don't get to see on TV or hear about all the time, what is it about him that just brings a consistent level of calm and confidence to the clubhouse where these guys are always ready to go out there and prepared to have a successful season?
Well, before I get into what makes Tito a remarkable Hall of Fame leader, we'll address the beginning of your question that speaks to the issue of the changes in the offseason to our roster. This offseason might have had some high-profile names, but in general, very rare that a baseball team, any baseball team, brings back the same players year in and year out. You try to keep a core group together, but you just know through free agency and other issues that it's very difficult to keep a team together. And so therefore, every offseason, when you start to construct a baseball team, has its different set of challenges. This year, a few high-profile spots on the diamond, such as shortstop, first base, positions we haven't had to concern ourselves with for a number of years, obviously. So as we work through to construct a baseball team, the confidence comes from the fact that our farm system is ranked number 2 in all of Major League Baseball, that we've had 8 straight winning seasons, as you mentioned. Ever since Tito came aboard in 2013, we've been to the postseason 5 times in those 8 years, 4 straight years in a row. We were 25 and 35 in the pandemic season of 2020. If you extrapolate that out to a 162 game schedule, that's another 90 plus win season, which would be our 5th 90 plus win season in a row. And only one other period in Cleveland Indians history, back to 1901, have we won 5 straight years of 90 plus wins. And a lot of people may think it was the 90s guys, Carlos and Kenny and Sandy and Omar and Albert and Manny and that incredible Charlie Nagy and that incredible group. But it was actually the 50s guys from 1950 to 55, the Bob Lemons and Bob Feller and Blue Boudreaux, Larry Doby, that Hall of Fame group won 90 plus games 6 years in a row from 1950 through the 1955 season. So what we've accomplished is pretty remarkable. You know, in those past 8 years, only the Los Angeles Dodgers have won more games in the regular season than the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians have won more games in the last 8 years in the regular season than any other team in the American League. And again, only the Dodgers have won more in all of Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, we haven't crossed the finish line. We haven't got to that World Series championship that we seek. But we have the right man in place in the dugout, leading that clubhouse, leading that group of men, and Terry Francona. He brings, I think, 3 things to the table whenever you talk about leadership. Everybody has their own thoughts as what makes a good leader. But what I believe makes Terry something extra special is the fact, number one, he is authentic. Anybody out there wants to try to be a leader, please understand that if you try to be somebody you're not, people will see through that and there won't be any trust. There'll be no truth. Tito is an incredibly genuine, authentic man. Secondly, he embraces individuality. He knows that each player has their own personality, their own way of going about doing their job and how they got to be a big league ball player, one of the few around the world that can put on a Major League Baseball uniform. And he doesn't want to take that individuality away from them. There's a lot of coaches, managers that want people to be clones and just fall in line. And Tito's not like that. You know, he's a guy that he was a number 1 draft pick. Don't know if, you know, you guys, Nick and Kevin, are aware of his playing career, but he was a number 1 draft pick of the Montreal Expos. He was a collegiate star at University of Arizona, took them to a College World Series, and but then his knees acted up, and about 6 knee surgeries later, he wasn't quite the player that he had hoped to be, and ended up hanging on. So he knows what it takes to hang on to a job in the big league level, and he treats everybody the same. He is understanding that the different personalities. You know, if you think about it, on our current roster, I think there's 5 different countries represented. And so the different cultures, language, fashion, food, all the things that have to come together for a singleness of purpose. He understands those individualities as being a teammate when he was a player and as a coach and now as a leader. So he embraces that. He thinks it's wonderful that everybody can bring something different to the table for the team, but he also has a set of rules, simple ones: respect and professionalism, respect your teammates, respect the game, be a pro, which means get your sleep, do the right things for your body nutritionally, strength and conditioning, and have that singleness of purpose. The we is more important than the me. And lastly, service to others. No question that a good leader understands service to others is paramount. He cares more about everybody else than he does himself. And I think when you put together that he's authentic, that he embraces individuality, and that service to others is paramount in the way he goes about his business, makes him a great leader. Now, for those of us gray hairs that are longtime Tribe fans, remember his father, Tito, playing in the late 50s and 60s for the Cleveland Indians. 1 year batted .363, just missed winning the batting title by, I think, qualifying, 23 at bats or something like that to be the batting champ in the American League. Terry grew up in our clubhouse at Cleveland Stadium with his dad being a Cleveland Indian. So there's something really cool, real unique about the fact that, he's the skipper of a team that when he was 8, 9 years old, he was running around a clubhouse at Cleveland Stadium. So we're very fortunate to have Tito as our leader.
In all of your dealings with all of the players and managers that you've seen over the last 40 years, who's been your favorite person to work with throughout all of these years?
Oh, don't tell Mike Hargrove this, but I think Tito, just because, I knew his dad very well, and I know Tito, he played for us in 1988. So I've known Tito a long, long time. And just the connection whenever, Terry's father would come to the ballpark and we'd all connect and be in the manager's office and laughing and storytelling. And it was just such a special time, but he might be 1A, 1B, Grover. I've known Grover as part of the Indians organization more than any other person in uniform. He came to us as a player in June of 1979. I started my career with the Cleveland Indians in February of 1979. So when he and Sharon came to us from San Diego Padres that June, his whole playing career, then he became a manager in our farm system, and then obviously one of the great managers in the history of the Cleveland Indians through the 90s heydays. Grover's right up there as well. But boy, Dwayne Kuiper, I would have to say, as a kid, 23, 24 years old, who was named the PR director of a Major League Baseball team in 1980 when my boss, Harry Jones, retired just prior to the season. And all of a sudden, I'm the PR guy. And again, I've had 1 year experience and I'm in my early 20s. Dwayne Kuiper was the guy that put his arm around me and said, I'm going to help you navigate a big league clubhouse because this place can be not easy to deal with. And so forever grateful to Dwayne Kuiper. He didn't have to do that. He's still a close, dear friend to this day. And so there's so many that over the course of 40 plus years that you truly have a connection with. But those guys are at the top of the list.
Joined by Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Bob DiBiasio from the Cleveland Indians. And Bob, as we kind of wind down here, you guys are only able to give away or open up tickets to fans month to month, and there's no promotional schedule yet. The thing that most fans look forward to seeing released before every baseball season. Are there plans for a promotional schedule to be released at some point in 2021, even with 30% of fans in the stands? And can you give us a sneak peek of some big promotions if you do have a schedule you guys are already thinking about?
Yeah, I don't know if I can give you a real detailed sneak peek, but yes, we're hoping to have a promotional schedule that'll include, Sugardale Dollar Dogs and fireworks and a few bobbleheads and a jersey giveaway. I mean, we have to do a bobblehead for Shane Bieber, don't we? I mean, unanimous Cy Young Award winner, won the pitching triple crown, most wins, most strikeouts, lowest ERA. We have to acknowledge that incredible season that Shane Bieber had in 2020. So yes, we will some way, somehow, when things start to open up, have a promotional calendar that our fans come to expect as added value for your investment in Indians baseball. So keep your ears tuned to any announcement we may make as we are in preparations for that as we speak.
Well, I know fans are going to be really looking forward to some of those giveaways you guys are going to have this year. And I know once that schedule comes out, a lot of people are going to be interested in it. And while ticket sales, I know, are probably going great now, It's just going to help with that even more and bring more energy in the ballpark. We'll get you out of here on this, though, Bob. What is your favorite promotion given away all time with your time with the Indians organization?
There's some that pop into your head when you think about it. I remember the first time we did a Jim Thome bobblehead, and he hit a walk-off home run that day, and everybody was holding up the bobblehead as he was rounding the bases of the walk-off home run. So I don't know if the actual bobblehead was one of my favorites, just the end result of seeing people have so much fun with that bobblehead after he hit a walk-off homer on the day that we gave out his bobblehead. But back in the Cleveland Stadium days, we used to have this promotion called Vacation Day, and people would actually come to the ballpark with suitcases packed, and we gave away trips, long weekend trips. It was like a Thursday night promotion, if I'm not mistaken. And we would send people away, free airfare, hotel for a long weekend in New York or the Bahamas. And so everybody came to the ballpark. Can you imagine today the way security is, that people came walking into the ballpark with suitcases? And so people had suitcases next to them in the stands, and we had them all come down on the field, and we picked names. And that one was probably one of the most unique. We had, I think, the Class A level of pro wrestling after a game a couple times, which was just, you shake your head at some of the things you did to try to attract people. Wallenda walking across the Cleveland Stadium as part of a promotional package. But as a kid, anybody who grew up in our town, you knew that on a Saturday we'd have Bat Day, and Sunday mornings Plain Dealer. Everybody would hold up their bat, and there'd be like 50,000 bats being held up at Cleveland Stadium. So yeah, there's some that run through my head, but I think the most bizarre one, I think, was Vacation Day. Where people came to the ballpark with their suitcases.
Well, Bob, we can't thank you enough for giving us a moment of your time tonight to come on our show, get everybody hyped up for the baseball season. We know that last year, 60 games, we still had baseball, but this year, really having that fan experience. I know a lot of fans are looking forward to getting back in Progressive Field, rooting on the Tribe this year. So thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight, and we hope to have you on again some point during the season. Maybe you can release the promotional schedule here on the Voice of the Land.
Yeah, this has been fun, Nick, Kevin. Let's hope we do it again, and go Tribe.
That was Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Bob DiBiasio, joining us to get everybody set for MLB opening day coming up on April 1st. Indians will be in Detroit for a 3-game set in 4 days. They always get that off day after opening day. They'll start April 1st, and then they come home April 5th. For a 2-game series with off days in between each. 2-game series against the Kansas City Royals. So it'll be the first time we see Carlos Santana in a Royals uniform.
Going to look weird in the baby blue.
Yeah, he will. He will. But, that's why this Indians team, we've kind of talked about our record for them, if they're going to be above 500 or not.
Like I said, maybe they'll surprise us.
Maybe.
Maybe all of these, and I say, double A, sort of talent that we have out on the field right now. Who knows? Maybe they surprise us. Maybe we get a couple all-stars out there and, really pack the stands and go from there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, but you have to trust at least in Terry Francona, who's been able to manage this team.
Absolutely.
We know the off-field things that they are dealing with right now, the investigations they're dealing with, and no one escapes any blame if those allegations are true, that the organization knew about Mickey Callaway prior to this investigation, this article kind of coming up. But, on the field, you're just talking strictly baseball. There is no better person to have at the helm to steer the ship in the right direction, even with what everybody thinks is turmoil this season.
Yeah.
than Terry Francona.
No, you're 100% right there. I mean, Tito, he's the best manager in the game. Just flat out, he absolutely is. Anything that happens out on the field, I 100% am with every move that he makes because he's a lot smarter than you, me, everyone in the city of Cleveland whenever it comes to baseball.
Yeah, and he's going to be a major staple of my future marriage moving forward because the in-laws are big Terry Francona fans.
Get Tito there. How about that? Tito
at the wedding. You may not want to do that because
I need to get Bobby D back on the horn here, see if we can make that happen.
No doubt.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, the future mother-in-law would really like that.
Oh, I'm sure she would. Yeah,
she calls herself the future awesome mother-in-law. I would be the future awesome
son-in-law.
Son-in-law, if I got that. I got put on her list the other day. We were just joking around. Yeah.
The bad list?
Yeah, I guess the bad list.
What happened? What'd you do?
I was just making fun of her for something. But we were going back and forth and everything. But, she's like, oh, I may have to put you on my list.
I was going to say, save that until you are married, sir.
Yeah.
Save that.
It was I'll put you on my list, but wink, wink. Like, no, you're good.
Yeah,
you're
good. There we go.
If I really make that list.
No, yeah. You never want to make that list. If you're a son-in-law or anything like that, you definitely don't want to end up on the crap list. That's the no-no list. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't want to end up on the no-no list with the wife either.
No. Yeah, you can survive those.
Can you?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. Love you, Kelly. Happy birthday.
There you go.
There we go.
Happy birthday, Kelly. Of course,
Dirty 30 as well.
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30. And you had your birthday just now, just recently there.
Yeah.
Dirty 30. You feel any different?
No.
No?
My back's still crap. And instead of saying I'm 20 something going on 80, I'm 30. I'm 30 going on 85.
There we go.
There we go. The 30-year-old with an 85-year-old back. That's basically what I'm dealing with right now. But
oh yeah.
Nice time, family jambalaya, homemade jambalaya.
Nice.
They got the work. They put in the works. They know what's going on. So nice and quiet. No big deal.
Right.
We already put out the picture of the gauntlet that I got. So
which is awesome. If you haven't seen it,
head over to VTL_pod
no
because it is legit. It really is. I guess if you go to that same website, it's like fun.com, I think. So if people are like interested in getting stuff, there's no free ads, but
yeah,
kind of.
Well, kind of a free ad right there.
But
if you want to sponsor us, fun.com, there we go.
Already rocking the gauntlet. There's like ones you can put on, but I guess it's not like a.
Oh yeah, no, they're huge and
you got to spend thousands of dollars. Have you seen the people that have made the suits
that have made like the Iron Man suit and whatnot?
Iron Man suits and everything?
Oh yeah,
the amount of time, and it's like they always show like the time lapse of them putting it on,
which is cool. And like I will sit there for like the full 8-minute video of them going super speed.
And it's a time lapse and it's 8 minutes. So like the amount,
it's an 8-minute video, but the time lapse it's over like a month of them putting it together. It's crazy.
It's still like quadruple the time the first time Tony Stark put on the suit in the first Iron
Man
movie.
Cave.
Yeah, he was in a cave.
Oh yeah,
he was able to build this with a bunch of scraps in a cave.
I'm not Tony Stark. Why can't you do this?
It is. Oh gosh, Marvel. Marvel is amazing. But we're here for the MLB opening day preview show, and since it is your wife's birthday, a little bit of a shorter show. We want to make sure we give just due to those that should have their birthday celebrated. Me, not so much. Your wife, definitely shout out to her and happy birthday. And hopefully you guys have a nice time this evening.
Absolutely. Have a great dinner with the family all planned out. So, we can't wait for that.
Those are always the best. The little dinner with the family, that's always the best way to go. Low key.
For sure. Yeah. Pandemic still, so we have to watch out for that too. So
low key is the high key move.
Good call.
Good call. Good call. So that is going to wrap it up for this edition of The Voice of the Land. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We are going to take the Easter Sunday holiday off, so we will not have a show next week. But in 2 weeks, we will be back to start looking at possibly if OTAs are going on or some Browns draft news. We'll have some guests coming on for that as well to preview everything going on We'll review maybe March Madness, National Championship, and some other things going on. We'll see where the Indians are at that time in a couple weeks. But until then, I am Kevin Arnold alongside Nick Paulus and Peter Tellett. We want to remind all of you, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game, and we love you all. 3,000, have a good and safe next 2 weeks. We'll talk to you down the line.